Welcome everybody to our webinar today on accelerating growth, how to connect with agricultural trade and market opportunities. Today's webinar is brought to you by the Magnet Export Business Portal and the Government of Ontario. And the Magnet Export Business Portal is there to match your business to the right growth opportunities for you. So we've got four presenters today. We've got Devin Franklin, we've got Tyler Whale, Doug Knox, and Reuben Lenz. And I'm going to give you a little bit of information about all the presenters. To get the webinar going, my name is Andrew Patricio. I'm a business owner that helps other business owners take the steps they need to take to build a successful business. Next, we have Devin Franklin. She's a project manager for Magnet Export. And she's the newest addition to the Magnet platform. So if any of you understand, the Magnet is a platform where you can go on and you can find information about exporting. And Devin works directly with businesses and business support organizations to raise awareness of the numerous opportunities available to Ontario businesses to help them grow and expand internationally. Devin believes that when businesses thrive, we all do, and Devin wants to ensure that businesses have access to all the necessary resources available to them. And I agree with Devin. I think this is so important that we keep growing our businesses. Our second presenter is Taylor Whale. Taylor is a lucky hybrid of agricultural and academic backgrounds and possesses the passion, experience, and insight into the agri-food industry that will serve OAFT well. After completing his Bachelor of Science in Biochemistry at McMaster University in 1999, Tyler went on to obtain a PhD, so lots of experience, in microbiology and immunology from the Vaccine and Infectious Disease Organization at the University of Saskatchewan in 2005. In 2007, Tyler completed his MBA, so really educated, really qualified, and he also has 2 decades of farming experience, which I think is really key for everybody to know online. Our next guest is Doug Knox. He's the Vice President of Technology at Bioenterprise Corporation. He's a senior executive with over 35 years of experience, establishing and managing international partnerships, technology licenses, acquisitions, and strategic alliances. Doug has managed both large corporate product divisions and developed small technology-based businesses. He has been the senior analyst at Bioenterprise for 13 years. Doug also spent 11 years at Unisys, where he held worldwide responsibility for education line of business, and he's been an advisor to various technology companies. So again, lots of experience that we can learn from. Our final presenter is Reuben Lenz. He's the president of Advanced Micropolymers. Geez, some big words here. A polysaccharide chemist that started Advanced Micropolymers in 2007. So Advanced Micropolymers specializes in developing and providing natural solutions to an industry that is heavily reliant on petrochemicals. These products are used the world over in industries as varied as aerospace, water-based printing inks, automotive, maintenance, and agriculture. So a vast array of experience. So a really interesting topic, a great panel. So let's get this webinar going. Let's learn from our experts, and most importantly, use this information to grow our businesses. So Devin, share with us a little bit of information about how we can match our business with the right opportunities on the Magnet Export Business Portal.
Great. Thank you, Andrew. And thank you to Reuben, Doug, and Tyler. I feel very privileged to be on a panel with so much expertise. So I'm not going to take up too much time talking explicitly about the portal because it's relatively intuitive, and I really want the audience to be able to leverage the expertise that the three of you bring. So the Magnet Export Business Portal, for a little bit of context for those that are on the webinar and will watch the recording, Magnet initially launched back in 2014 to really look at recruitment and disrupting recruitment. So how do we ensure that all these super talented job seekers are being matched effectively with employers that are looking for talent? And fast forward 3 years after successfully leveraging the matching technology to help with employment, we were approached early in the new year from the then Ministry of International Trade to look at using the matching technology to help businesses connect with export and trade related services. The business case for exporting is really clear. That increases your revenue, it expands your customer base, it allows you to become more competitive. And I know Reuben's going to talk a little bit about how exporting helped grow his business. So the business case was really clear. And yet the challenges were also really clear. So when we spoke with businesses, everything from, pre-sale startups to, small and mid-sized companies, the challenges were really the same across the board. There were an overwhelming array of resources. Trying to find out what the right resources were cumbersome. You'd, land on a funding opportunity and realize that you missed the deadline or you're ineligible. And then really trying to navigate the different providers. What's the difference between the Ontario government and Global Affairs Canada, EDC and BDC, all these different providers in the ecosystem? As a small or medium-sized business with limited time and limited resource, trying to figure out what's right for you becomes a really daunting task and really an inhibitor for export growth. And so that's when we launched the Magnet Export Business Portal, and we launched late in 2017, and then really went to market mid-February of this year. And the incentive of the export portal was really to use that matching technology to allow businesses to seamlessly get matched with those resources. Andrew, if you just go to the next slide. And so the portal's purpose is really to connect you with the opportunities. So it's to connect you with the opportunities that are being offered by the Ontario government, by Export Development Canada, by Global Affairs Canada, and the Business Development Canada. And the system really works to benefit with our partners. So we've partnered with the Ontario Agri-Food Technology, so OAF, which Tyler is going to speak to, and Bioenterprise, which Doug is going to speak to. And so it's leveraging all of those opportunities that are offered from our various partners, as well as our primary providers from the Ontario government and federal government. And it all comes down to targeted communication. So one of the challenges that businesses were faced with were, again, weeding through Google and doing a quick Google search for export resources and getting thousands and thousands of hits of information. And so how this system works is by answering a number of questions about your business, you're setting your business up to receive targeted communications about only opportunities that you're eligible for. So if you're in the agri-food business, you're only going to receive targeted communication about opportunities that you're eligible for within that sector. You won't see, sector-specific funding opportunities for the auto industry or for the manufacturing industry if that's not the industry that you've identified. How we work with partners is we set up unique partner landing pages. And so this allows you to not only receive information from the Ontario government, from Global Affairs Canada, but you also receive direct information from these key partners. So OAF and Bioenterprise. And as a business, you're able to affiliate your account with both of them. And we'll send out additional information to webinar registrants about how to sign up for your account so that you're making sure that you're tapping into both of these phenomenal partners and the content and resources and services and support that they provide to businesses. So setting up your account is really easy. Businesses did not want a 20-question questionnaire to have to finish out. So it's really 7 to 9 questions about your business. We ask what industry you're in, what market you serve, the number of your employees, and these questions are all really important to make sure that you're only getting targeted communication about opportunities you're eligible for. In step 2, we ask you if you're currently exporting or not. And so there may be businesses on the call that aren't currently exporting. And so what's really important to understand is that this system is meant to help you get to the point where you're able to export. So it's okay if you're not currently exporting, you say no, we ask you a few additional questions. If you're currently exporting, our goal is to help you get to the next level, whether that's trade diversification. So maybe you're currently exporting to the United States. Well, we want to make sure that you're exporting to other countries as well. And so providing you with the resources and supports that you need to take your export business to the next level. And step 3 is really just getting matched. So like I said, once you complete that profile and hit submit, you're setting yourself up to receive targeted communication about opportunities that we upload in the system that you're eligible for. So my colleague Emily, who uploads all of our content on the back end, she works with all those primary content providers to make sure that you're receiving timely notifications about everything from networking events, trade missions, outbound, inbound, funding programs, business advisory services, trade accelerator programs, market accelerator programs, the resources, both domestic and international, that are available to you are numerous. And so our goal is to try to make it as easy as possible for you to tap into those that you're eligible for. So this is what you'll see when you hit submit on your profile. You'll instantly be taken to a what we call your kind of home dashboard. Within your My Messages is where you'll receive those timely notifications. But again, this is all connected to your inbox. So you never have to come back into the system to check, because it's always going to go into your email inbox and give you a little notification that there's a new opportunity that you're eligible for. So this isn't another platform that you need to sign into every day to check for updates. It's tied directly to your inbox. And so the benefits for business are really clear. It's targeted, curated content that comes right to your inbox. It's convenient because, like I said, it's tied to that email address, so you don't have to worry about having to sign in and check another thing additionally. And best of all, and what businesses really appreciate, is that it's free. So it's completely free for the end user. So like I said, whether you're not exporting, currently exporting, looking to explore what those opportunities are like, it really is just good business sense to sign up for an account and start creating that funnel of information into your inbox. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me directly. We'll be sending lots of information to webinar registrants following the webinar, and talking more explicitly about our partnership with OAFT and Bioenterprise to really service the sector and ensure that you're feeling supported. As Andrew mentioned, with all the changes to what was then NAFTA, we want to make sure that you are informed and updated and kept in the loop on how those changes impact you as a business, and how the different levels of government are responding with resources and programs to support you. So thank you so much for your time. If you have any questions, Andrew has directed you to the Q&A box, and we'll be tackling questions at the end of the session. But I'm going to turn it over to Andrew, who's going to introduce our next speaker, Tyler Whale from OAF. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Devin, for explaining it really well of how the panel works. And I think that's such an important thing, that now that more opportunities are going to be opening up, you need to have that information. And the Magnet Export Business Portal is the one place you go to. You just sign on and you'll get the information on a regular basis. All right, so next we've got Tyler Whale. Tyler, share with us some of your knowledge and your expertise, and tell us a little bit about the Ontario Agri-Food technology that are beneficial to businesses.
Yeah, sure. Thanks very much, Andrew and Devin. I'll start by saying first, when I learned about the Magnet opportunity, I think it was about a year ago now, I was so pleased to hear that somebody was doing this so that I didn't have to. And essentially what I mean by that is, because navigating the landscape of funding opportunities and automatically matching or marrying opportunities with need, it's such an important thing in a country as broad as Canada, and with many different provincial and federal and national and even international programs that you can use. SMEs often don't have the capacity to do this kind of navigation or searching on their own. Things are changing all the time, so I think major thumbs up to you guys, Devin and your team, and internally Andrea and our team at the Agri-Tech Commercialization Center. So with that, Ontario Agri-Food Technologies is an organization that's been around for 20 years, really with a few key missions or objectives. One is to support the ag tech sector fully in Ontario. We're provincially mandated, but it's to make sure that our innovators have opportunities in international markets so that their technology can be sold, and therefore their company finds viability, looking beyond just Canada and US, as you've mentioned. And two, to make sure that we're providing some kind of intelligence on the types of technologies that exist elsewhere in the world that would be useful for our producers or our sector to adopt. Really, it's a two-way street to connect. So as a connector, so you can see the core functions on your screen if you have that screen. To support viability of the ecosystem, of course, the main or one of the main functions of OAFT is the proverbial dating service. So making sure that our networks are available to people who need them. So often it's who you know and who can help, and driving the collaborations or the synergies or symbiosis that exists in the sector. Two, we have a program, a funding program that I'll describe on the next slide, the rapid response. Three, and very important, is what does the sector need for the future of innovation to be good? So I've got a bunch of acronyms there that you won't understand, but really CDAF is Canadian Digital Agri-Food. That's essentially enabling the vast amounts of data that we have so that we can monetize and analyze and glean some management insight from them. Again, this is a vision of how we adopt and adapt technology into our food manufacturing system so that we remain competitive, but also how do we identify swimming lanes where Canadian technology might be integrated or might find or generate solutions that are of global relevance. We do a bunch of other things, educator funding, application support. We talk to government, to press, to the general public. We engage and serve on a number of boards and committees within ag and sometimes without, so in the academic and the industrial sector as well. Same thing with advising, adjudicating grants, that kind of thing. And then finally, visionary, really to look into the future, into the crystal ball that we all wish we had, and see where the opportunities are for Canadians, for Canadian farmers, and those innovators in the ag tech space. So next slide. So the funding program, which might be of key interest, Rapid Response is it's a fairly small fund, but it's a very fast and flexible fund that's been working for about 15 years or so. In our last assessment of impact, this program had about 123 to 1 return on the investment over the course of about 2.5 years. So on average, 2.5 years of function. And again, the pipeline had a lot more potential in it over the next couple of years, but those predictions are, again, just predictions. So really what it is, it's a program that's designed to provide support for Ontario ag tech companies that are trying to drive sales in international markets. I stress international, but they can also help to drive sales within our domestic market. So what we fund is companies that are going to meet potential buyers, and they're adjudicated on 3 criteria. One, it has to be innovative, and that could mean that there's a new product going to a new market. That would be considered an innovation. A new process, of course, any intellectual property and those kinds of things that make you unique on an Ontario landscape is how we're adjudicating that. So Ontario companies uniquely have access to this fund. You have to be good for Ontario agriculture, and that is that the vision is that our producers could also use your technology, even if you're not maybe registered or regulated or whatever within the Ontario jurisdiction. At some point, there's going to be some potential value returning to Ontario farmers. And finally, that you have prearranged meetings with potential buyers of your technology. So we don't fund hunting expeditions or searching, but we fund those meetings that are aiming to close a deal or at least advance a deal beyond the internet or phone call or a prior meeting that you've had maybe at a trade show or something like that. So a few things just to emphasize is, one, the program aims to approve projects. Once it gets through the OAF door, you probably have a 95% plus chance of success. 2, we turn over our applications in 48 hours. So by the time we get it out to our adjudicators, that's partly why it's called rapid response, because sometimes in business, a last minute opportunity comes up and your company wants to take advantage of those opportunities and not see the $5,000 to $10,000 as a barrier for you getting there and again, closing a deal. 3, we certainly understand that there is failure or at least patience that's needed to close deals. It doesn't mean that a deal has to be closed and a check signed or a purchase order received in the first meeting. It might take 2, 3, 5, whatever. Four, we're fairly flexible and definitely responsive. So again, you can imagine most government programs are not adjudicated in 48 hours. And that means the money is in your account and you will receive that payment. And so with that, I'll finish and leave it open to questions at the end.
Thank you very much, Tyler. Really interesting program. I'm really interested in some of the things that you guys are doing. And the part that I really liked is the quick turnaround time. That was really, really impressive because of the quick turnaround time on getting this 48 hours. I really like that. All right, so next we've got Doug Knox. Doug, are you there? Hello, Doug. All right, so we'll come back to Doug. I see his telephone is muted, so we'll come back to Doug. I'm going to just move forward. And Reuben, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, wonderful. So I'm just going to move forward to your slides, and then you can take away the topic. Is Doug? We don't have Doug there. No, it seems like his telephone is muted. All right, so I'm just going to move, and we'll come back to Doug. These are your slides, Reuben?
Yes, they are.
Excellent. So Reuben, just share with us some of your knowledge and expertise here, and show us what we can do to help grow our business. So take it away, Reuben.
Well, I want to say welcome to everyone, and thank you very much for the invitation to participate here. There are actually two of us here, myself and Kimberly. Kimberly is our project manager, and she often works with companies for us in order to finalize and get the projects done so that they can become our clients. And she's going to be the one introducing the company for us this afternoon.
Welcome, Kimberly.
Hello. Hi, everyone. So just to give a brief introduction of who we are. So Advanced Micropolymers was founded in January of 2017, and 2017, sorry, and 2007, sorry. And we provide effective natural polymer-based solutions that reduces people's reliance on dangerous chemicals. So the products that we create and manufacture address important environmental aspects. So, for example, our liquid mulch was our very first binder technology that was developed, and it set the foundation to the many of other products that were later developed. So all our products reduce the amount of waste that goes into landfills because they are biodegradable. So these eco-friendly products can be used in various industries and are being used in coatings, inks, dust control, and others. And R&D or research and development is also a big part of Advanced Micropolymers, and these are extended to customers that use our products, but as well to those who don't use our products to resolve issues that they're experiencing in these open new markets. So that's a little bit of who we are and what we do, and I'll pass it on to Reuben so he can continue.
Thank you, Kimberly. And if we can go to the next slide, we see that export is extremely important for us. As a matter of fact, on a product basis, approximately 70% of our products are exported, and only less than a third is sold within Canada. As a matter of fact, even Canada and the United States are not as progressive in terms of adopting the type of technology that we have as many other places in the world. So our biggest markets lie in Asia, especially the Chinese market, and in Europe, who have made big strides in terms of limiting the harmful effects of many chemicals in the environment and to the consumer. The biggest challenge that we have is the time to the market. In other words, for example, especially for smaller orders, if a customer is in China, it can easily take 8-9 weeks for the product to arrive there. And if a customer is dependent on our product for their own production, then that gives its own challenges. Being a small company, coordinating the logistics from here to there is also a big challenge. And then not just handling the multiple currencies, but the different languages. And if we can go to the next slide, the trade deals that Canada has made with Europe, as well as just recently with the U.S., are real opportunities for us because they will broaden or further expand those markets for us. Up until now, we have really used with good success, and we're really, really happy to be part of OAFT, and we've also used the expertise from Bioenterprise, as well as some of their funding arrangements that have helped us to land a lot of these customers. One of the challenges being a small Canadian company is that we're not as well known as some of the really large companies. And so working through companies such as OAFT, for example, has helped the customers see us as a really credible source. It takes away a lot of the uncertainty for them, and makes it a lot easier to do business. Just as an example, OAFT had a series of videos that they had done that are now, I think, at the different trade offices for a number of Ontario companies, and ours was one of them. And whenever a large, especially in the Asian market, whenever a large company asked, well, who is this company? We simply referred them to that video from OAFT, and it made all the difference. So we've been a member with OAFT for a long time, and plan on being so for a long time in the future. So that is our 10 cents worth.
Thank you very much, Reuben. And if we have any questions, I welcome people to think about any questions they may have. And then at the end of the webinar, I'll come back, and if we've got any questions, we'll ask them. All right, so we've got Doug back here. Doug, so go through the slides for us and share with us some information about Bioenterprise and how business owners can use it.
Yeah, thanks very much, Andrew. Sorry for the problem with the phones, but Tyler's got a nice office here anyway, so we're in good shape. Bioenterprise is a agri-food business accelerator. We deal primarily with food and agriculture companies. From the agriculture perspective, it could be a company that is sending products into agriculture or looking for feedstocks coming out of agriculture. And of course, from the food perspective, it could be anything from food processing to food marketing to beverage and product development of other kinds. I like to say that our business includes everything from anaerobic digestion to frozen yogurt, so that kind of covers the range of the activities. We're not like a lot of accelerators that work on a cohort basis with a number of companies coming in to go through a structured program. We work with companies individually with a hands-on approach. We have a number of business analysts in both the food and beverage area, in the biomaterials area, in the technology areas, animal health, plant science, and aquaculture. So we cover the basis of pretty much all of the areas that would be related to food and agriculture. Our resources that we provide to clients is we have an innovation portfolio where we look for exceptional companies and promote them to organizations that might be scouting for technologies, companies like Mitsui or Toyota as an example. We do due diligence for both companies looking for strategic partners or for investors looking for good companies. We do something akin to Dragon's Den. We call it a reality check, wherein we bring the company in to present their program, their products, and their services to a panel of experts that includes both academics and industry people, some government people as well. We have some acceleration funds that we get access to through organizations like FedDev in Ontario or Western Diversification in Western Canada. I should mention that right there that we have offices in the Maritimes and in BC, and we work with clients across the country. We do some mentor matching, looking for experienced entrepreneurs in an area where the client needs some assistance, and we try to match them up and get them that assistance as well as providing our own. We have a global network of connections that we work with, connecting innovators with investors, with ideas, experience, science, and with business savvy. We do things like promote our clients to the Ag Innovation Forum in Kansas City, and some of the other investment forums in Canada and the US. Next, the breadth of technologies that we look at, you can see the ones for agriculture. They're pretty obvious. Big one right now is the precision ag and data analytics side of things. We're working with a couple of satellite technology companies in terms of the products that they're working with and working to bring to market. On the agri-food side of things, agri-food life sciences is primarily looking at nutraceuticals and occasionally veterinary products for animal health and things like that. Then agri-product, clean technologies. We've worked with a company to bring a unique technology out of Belgium into Canada and install it on dairy farm. Bioenergy, biofibers. We work with the Biocomposite Center in Manitoba and Alberta in particular on new product design and development and formulations, and then help them get to market with it. And next slide, Andrew, thanks. Why the sector? Rapid growth. It used to be that agriculture was viewed as a long-term investment and slow to get some products to market, whether it be food or technologies. With the advent of precision agriculture and precision processing going into just about every part of the agri-food sector, this is a fast-growing sector. It requires highly skilled people in a lot of respects. The technology itself means that tech-savvy individuals are going onto the farm. Just ask Tyler. And moving through to increase the value and accessibility of food and agricultural products worldwide. So the opportunity that Magnet presents for us is the ability to get to some of the global affairs offices in various locations. I said we do some work with folks in Kansas. That's through the Chicago consulate. We've worked with the consulate in Germany on some companies going to display at the big agricultural show in Germany. We've worked through to other consulates in Switzerland to get some work done there with one of our clients. So the basic tenet is that the clients always need another resource. We can't do it all, and the Magnet program is just opening another door that allows our clients expertise and allows us to provide another service to them. I think that's probably the essence of what we do and how we do it. And I look forward to the interaction at the end of the program.
Thank you very much, Doug. Thank you very much for that introduction. And again, a great program, and something that all of us need to look at is maybe it's an opportunity for those of us that are in the agricultural business is the resources available. And remember that all of these resources are available on the Magnet business portal. So you've got access to this information. You go on there, you create one email, and it's really, really simple. And I think this is one of the key advantages. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to unmute everybody, and I encourage anybody, if you've got any questions, please feel free to post them on the right hand side of the screen. You'll see a little questions tab. So if you've got any questions, you're welcome to post them there at any time from now onwards, and we'll get our panel to answer some of the questions. Let me just unmute our panel first. And to start off the panel, I've got a question here for Devin. So let me understand, Devin, is that this portal is available to us. Anybody, even if they're not exporting yet, they can go on to the portal and they can already set up so that they can get regular emails, and it's free. Is that right?
Yeah, so even if a business isn't exporting, I know it's a bit counterintuitive because export's in the name, but the goal is really to have a business set up their account, so whether they're exporting or not, and based on the responses to those questions, we're going to target information to you to get you in a position where you're ready to export. So let's say you're not an exporter, but you have, sales revenue between the 500K and 1 million mark, so you're really looking to accelerate that growth. You're going to get targeted communications about opportunities, mostly domestic, that are looking to prepare you for going international. So things like the Ontario government's trade accelerator programs, domestic inbound missions that are going to bring buyers and distributors into your local area where you can actually interact with them and network, because the state of business still is largely face-to-face, and so having those meetings with other businesses is really, really critical, as well as business advisory services. So there are lots of great opportunities through the Trade Commissioner Service offered through the Global Affairs Canada, as well as through BDC and EDC, to actually sit down with an advisor and really understand where are the market opportunities for your explicit product or service that you do, and really so that you can be targeted in that export plan. The successes are found when you are really understand what your niche is and really understand what makes your product or service special. And a business advisor and an export expert can really help you in narrowing that focus and really looking at the markets where you're going to be most successful. So the short answer is yes. If you're not currently exporting, this is absolutely the best and kind of easiest first step to take, is to create that free account and start that pipeline of information that's going to be relevant to your business.
So I've got another question here for you, Devin, from Peter and Sylvia. They're saying they're not from Ontario. They're based in BC, so they're getting a bit jealous. Are they also allowed to sign up to the platform? Is this something they can do also?
Absolutely. So 3 of our 4 primary content providers are federal institutions. So Global Affairs Canada, EDC, and BDC are all federal providers. And so you'll get targeted communication about all of their programs and services, along with anything from OAF to Bioenterprise that you're eligible for at a federal and national level. The only opportunities that you won't see is you won't see anything that's being offered by the Ontario government, because you're not an Ontario-based organization. The goal in the new year is really starting to reach out to those other provinces to get their provincial programs engaged, so that you will be seeing offerings from the province of British Columbia. But for right now, if you sign up, like I said, you're setting yourself up to receive content from those national providers and those national programs. And in the future, we hope that we'll be working with the province of British Columbia so that we can have their provincial opportunities in the system as well.
There you go, Sylvia and Peter, so you can go and sign up. Don't feel guilty, just sign up and you'll also learn. All right, so I've got a question here for Tyler. Tyler, how does a business get involved with the Ontario food technology? Is it a matter of just approaching them? Is it going to the website? What would you recommend?
Yeah, so in the slide deck, Andrew, we had our contact information there. There is a website. We do have an intake process through the website, but really it's phoning us. It's letting us know what you do, what you need. Typically, we'll just arrange for a meeting, and whether it's a phone call or a face-to-face, and discuss again the opportunities or the best impact that we could offer a company. The benefit is you'd get a 2-for-1, because Bioenterprise and OAFT is in the same building. So we're 2 entities that collaborate. We do somewhat different things, but we certainly pitch clients back and forth as per the needs of the client. So so there's the contact information for Andrea Murray. She's the brilliant intaker program administrator here, and our website, and I guess that's as simple as that.
There you go. But remember, you've got access to all this information on the Magnet Business Portal. I think that's really key. If you want to go to one space instead of going to a couple of places, I think that is a great opportunity. Was somebody else going to say something there that I didn't hear? Oh, I thought somebody. All right. So I thought somebody was going to make a comment there. So I've got a question here for a couple of people are saying they've signed up during a presentation. Wonderful. That makes me happy. I've got a question here for Doug. I found really interesting some of the discussion you had there. And again, what would be the easiest way to get involved with the Bioenterprise Corporation for somebody online? Doug?
Our website is bioenterprise.ca, and if you look through that, there is an opportunity. We call it an opportunity evaluation, and you fill out an online questionnaire form about your business, and it would come in, and one of our analysts would give you a call as soon as we get it.
There you go. So really quite simple, nothing too complicated. And remember, you can sorry.
Yeah, that's right. Straightforward.
Yeah, it's really simple. And remember, you have access to this information on the Magnet Business Portal. So if you just want to go to one space, it's really quite easy. So Reuben, I found, some of the products you produce very interesting. And as a small business owner, well, I'm going to assume you a small business, and maybe you're much bigger than I realize, but how's the export been going for you? I understand some of the challenges, for example, shipping and but how's it been for your business?
Well, it's a really important part of our business. As I had mentioned, about 70% of what we sell does go overseas. And most of the inquiries that we do get are from overseas companies. So we've used, for example, OAFT a number of times in their rapid response to business opportunities, because an opportunity had arisen and we couldn't get the client through email and telephone conversation, but actually had to go and visit them, and a couple of times had to bring the clients here to visit our location. So we found these organizations really useful in furthering our our company, right? In being able to land clients.
And Reuben, people like buying from Canadians?
Yes, Built in Canada is a very big name. It is synonymous with quality and with trustworthiness. When they hear that something comes from Canada, people almost automatically accept that it is what one says it is, which is not the case with products coming from everywhere in the world. In some places, there's always a question mark as to what it is you're actually getting.
And I think that's one of the big advantages, of being Canadian, is that just the name, it earns a little bit of trust already.
Yes, yeah. And working along with organizations such as OAFT and Bioenterprise gives, what's the right expression? Gives credibility to customers, because they are arm's length from government organizations, right? Get their funding from the government and so on. So it gives already a lot of credibility to the exports and confidence to the customers as to what they're getting.
Excellent. I just want to remind everybody is that we are recording this webinar, and we will send you a YouTube link to this webinar, so you can watch it again or you can share it. All right, so now I'm going to ask all the panelists to just give us a couple of final words so that we can end off the webinar, and just a couple of final words of advice for business owners online on the topic we discussed today. So we'll start off with Devin.
Yep. So as I previously said, this is one of those opportunities that just makes good business sense, whether you're here in Ontario or nationally across Canada. Signing up is easy, it's free, and it's a great way to connect in with the expertise that Doug and Tyler's organizations both bring to the platform. And as Reuben spoke to, his business has seen immense growth from tapping into the markets that are beyond Canada. Canada is a small market, and so for those businesses that are looking to grow and scale, it may seem daunting, but the world is becoming smaller and smaller, and so you should be tapping into those international market opportunities.
Thank you, Devin. Next, I'd like Tyler to give us a couple of final words.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. First off, I hope that Magnet continues to evolve their offering. I think this is a really excellent start, and it's absolutely the direction that we should be going in helping to navigate these pathways. Second, I'd like to say to any innovators who are on the line, and including the comment of being jealous in BC, look, we're happy to share the structure of these programs, and quite frankly, I agree that they should be probably rolled out nationally in scope. So really an opportunity, if you think the rapid response program, for example, is good, and I can tell you it is, and I have shared that information with our national colleagues, then ask for it, and we can help them initiate some kind of a franchise or a demonstration model. And lastly, that Canadian tech should not think of itself ever as second place. There's brilliant technology being developed all over the world, absolutely, but Canada is no slouch in doing that kind of thing. And I mean, Reuben made some key points that just getting a couple of $1,000s, but they're given to you by a government organization who has validated that you're a real company, and it validates that you're meaningful to the government. That holds a lot of weight in Asian and Indian and different parts of the world, different cultures. The government support holds a lot of weight, but we bring with it a heck of a lot more than just financing. So the network, the experience, the opportunities, and the drive to get our very best technology on international markets, I think is critical for the whole world to engage in activities like this. We've got the biggest clean tech sector in the world, that's agriculture. We've got the most important function, and that's creating food. And we also have to think globally in the one very important word of sustainable, and that all hinges from agriculture and technology that we're helping to develop.
Thank you, Tyler. A couple of final words from Doug in your office there.
Yeah, just I think one of the things that you need to keep in mind about agriculture is that agriculture is connected to all of the supercluster development that's going on in Canada right now. The digital supercluster involves the imaging and the data analysis that agriculture is doing a great deal of right now. The protein supercluster in the prairies is focused on new sources of protein for human consumption. The artificial intelligence supercluster out of the Quebec region. Artificial intelligence is coming big time into machine control and operations on farm. And of course, the oceans supercluster, a good piece of that is aquaculture. So we're connected to just about all of them.
And next generation manufacturing here in Ontario, eh? Yeah, so.
Very, very interesting. I mean, the technology, we should call it technology and use agriculture second, because it sounds like technology is making such a major impact. And I think this is where every small business owner or every farmer needs advice and guidance. Really, really interesting. I really found the technology part really interesting. Okay, Reuben, a couple of final words for us before we end off the webinar.
From the perspective of a small business, I think it is wise for every small business to use all the resources and all the tools that the government makes available to them. And as Magenta, OAFT, as well as the Bioenterprise have been very useful tools for us. And it would behoove anyone who falls within these categories to use them to their fullest.
Thank you very much for that, Reuben. Really interesting advice. I'm just going to get Devin to come on and say a couple of final things before we get the webinar completed.
Yes, thank you, Andrew. Sorry, I forgot to mention one thing. For those who are on today's webinar or who will watch this this recording, we are always looking for businesses to profile. So we'll be following up with Reuben's team and profiling their business. Part of our mission beyond, connecting Canadian businesses to the resources and tools they need is also sharing the narrative of Canadian firms that are doing innovative, wonderful, amazing things with their products, with their services. And so please, my contact information will be included in the email. If you've signed up, provide us with your feedback. We want to make sure that the system is responding to industry needs. And if you've signed up, we want to profile your business. We want to know what you do, why you're interested in exporting, or if you're currently exporting, where you want to go, so that we can really be sharing the narrative of how Canadian companies are really setting the tone and heading international.
There you go. Great opportunity to get free publicity for your business. I'd like to thank everybody online. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. It was really interesting for me, and I'm sure if you in the agricultural business, it was really interesting for you. I'd also like to thank Devin, Doug, Reuben, Tyler, for joining us this afternoon and sharing some of their expertise and some of their knowledge. And I encourage all of you to go and check out the Export Magnet business portal. So go to export.magnet.today and sign up for the portal. It's a great resource. It's a one place where you can get all the information related to exporting, and it really doesn't matter what stage of the business you're at. So use this information and it'll help you grow your business. Thank you very much and have a great afternoon.